Well, good morning, real estate fans. Alice Lema here, broker John L. Scott, with another edition of our weekly podcast. Very excited to tell you today 6 things homeowners are doing with the extra $50,000 to $100,000 equity that they find themselves with. It is just like money falling into your house account, right? It's just crazy. So since the COVID and here in Southern Oregon, also since the fires, we had both kind of drive our prices up suddenly, not only suddenly, but unexpectedly. And so now we're starting to watch trends form. And I've got 6 things I want to share with you that people are doing with their money, from the completely obvious, and yes, we would guess that, to the jaw-dropping, flabbergasting, you're never going to believe it. Okay, so before we get to that, I want to give you a chance to subscribe to the channel, to like it, to send it to your friends. Want to have some comments, some questions. Seems like people are starting to use these ideas and getting some good results, because we're hearing back during the week, which is super exciting. Okay, so thank you for that. Now getting back to our podcast, 6 things homeowners are doing with their extra 50 grand to 100 grand. So first of all, when we're talking about equity, let's talk about what equity is. Equity is the amount of money your house, your property is worth, minus what you owe on the loan. So if you bought something 2 years ago for $300,000 and now it's worth $400,000, the money you owe on the property doesn't change, but what you would get for it on the open market today is what changed. And for some people, it changed a lot of zeros. Okay. But that's what equity is, the difference between what the property is worth versus what you owe on it. That's profit. Equity is profit. Okay. So the most obvious thing, number one, refinance. People are refinancing. They're taking off their mortgage insurance, because you know what? If you did not put 20% down, which most of us don't, even if we have that much cash, we do not want to use it for that. So the lenders will put what's called mortgage insurance on top of your loan, and they take it out of your payment every month. So once the property is worth 20% or more than when you did your down payment, and that 20% can come from a combination of the prices went up, or you made that many payments, one or the other, or both. So then all of a sudden you have this at least 20% equity position, and the lender will allow you, on a conventional loan, will allow you to refinance and take that mortgage insurance off, because you're no longer such a risky character. Anyway, FHA loans, you cannot take the mortgage insurance off ever, but you could refinance into a conventional loan. Okay, so that's probably something you should think about doing while the rates are low. So the first thing people do, obviously, when they find themselves with a lot of equity, with a lot of profit in their real estate, is they refinance. The second thing people seem to think about doing is buying another property. This would either be a second home, a vacation home, an investment property, a multifamily, something like that, but they buy an additional piece of real estate. They can take the money out of the property they have now. That is a refinance activity as well. So not only can you use your refi to take your mortgage insurance off, you can take a little bit of cash, a lot of cash out, and use it to invest or buy something else. Note to self, we don't want to spend too much money on things that do not make us money. We do not want to spend a bunch of money out of the hard-earned equity profit we have in our property and buy a bunch of stuff that's just going to cost us money. That's just my opinion. Okay. And you know how opinionated I am. If you're going to take money out of your property, I'd like to see you do it. Put it somewhere where it's going to make you more. Okay. Or give you more security. All right. Number 3, the third thing people are doing is they're taking this profit, they're selling the asset, or through a refinance, taking this profit and going to a completely different location, either out of the area. because they can work remotely, or they're selling the asset and taking that profit and buying a bigger, more expensive property here in Southern Oregon. And I tell you, I've got some older millennials, 35, 40-year-olds that have $100,000 in equity, just like boom, out of the blue, and they're buying rural property or they're getting a bigger house. It's just so fun because they're such hard workers, these kids that I know, and I'm just super proud of them and happy for them. Nice to see that happen. So that is the third thing people do, is they move to, they either sell the asset and move out of the area and get something somewhere else because they have all this profit, or they'll put it as a big down payment onto something bigger, more expensive here in Southern Oregon, but they'll still have a relatively low monthly payment because their down payment is so gargantuan. All right, number 4, they pay off debt. And again, this is a refinance activity, or they'll sell the asset, but mostly they're taking money out and then paying off some of their debt or paying off somebody else's debt. So I've seen, again, older millennials, brother, sister, paying off each other's school notes. What do you call that? Student loans. I've seen some of the elder people taking money out and helping one of their grandkids get through college or have an operation, and vice versa. There's some Gen Xers. I think I still qualify for that. They can take that profit and help somebody else. They're paying off debt for themselves or someone else. And that's really a beautiful thing. So here's number 5, and I think your eyeballs will pop. People are retiring early. All of a sudden, they're running their numbers. And if they sell their house, they don't have to work for 3 more years, or they don't have to work for 5 more years, or they can sell their house and move to some lower cost place and not have to work anymore. So people are retiring early. And I'm wondering how much that's affecting our labor shortage, because I didn't think about that. So, but I'm starting to hear people, they're making this life change so that they can stop working and retire early. So yay for them. That's exciting. But that caught me by surprise and made my eyeballs pop open. Okay, here's number 6. Are you ready? Drum roll, please. They're quitting their jobs altogether. Yeah. People are quitting their jobs altogether. Again, maybe affecting the labor force. I don't know. And so if you're a single person, I've seen several people do this where they have enough equity and they can live so small that they sell all their stuff, they sell their house, and they buy a van and go on the road, or they go like somewhere else in the world and make their money stretch like a huge rubber band. So we have single people quitting their jobs, they're their own source of income, and they quit their jobs. We also have couples where one of them is not going back to work because they can sell their asset, move into a smaller place, and and live small. And then one of them doesn't have to work, and they can either go back to school, start a business, caretake. We've got people using this money to help their elders. They can afford to quit their jobs and be a caretaker for their elders or their own children or somebody else in the family. So, but that was a jaw dropper to me. Number 6, quitting the job altogether. So that's what humans are doing with their extra $50,000 to $100,000 equity. And nationally, I believe the number is 56,000 per homeowner in the United States. And we've got a map we're going to pop up for you. Again, this is one of my favorite websites, KCM, Keeping Current Matters, and it shows by state how much equity each homeowner got on average. But then if you run all those numbers nationally, 56,000 per homeowner. Jaw-dropping, isn't it? Wow. Well, real estate fans, that's why we like real estate, because sometimes we get lucky that way. I'm Alice Lema, broker John L. Scott here in beautiful Southern Oregon, wishing you happy holidays. Enjoy the rest of the weekend with your friends, families, and loved ones. Or if you get to be by yourself, enjoy that too. Give me a call, give me a text. I'm around after the holiday, 541-301-7980. Would love to be your listing agent, buyer's agent, help your grandkids get their first house, help your grandma, your grandpa downsize, get you some investment property, whatever you need. You just give me a call, give me a text, and we'll work it out. Have a beautiful weekend, folks. See you next time. Bye now.